Slušaj me pažljivo. Sprema se nešto veliko.
Ti si porno glumac koji želi da zna o čemu se radi u filmu. Pružit ću ti kraj. Kraj kakav si želeo.
Bravo, bravo, bravo.
Welcome back to the Movie Pit. And today we're going to be talking about a movie that I've put off talking about for a very long time. That being said, it's time to acknowledge the elephant in the room that is A Serbian Film. The plot pretty much follows Milos, a porn star lured out of semi-retirement when former co-star Leja puts him in touch with Vukmir, a rich director who wants him to star in what he's calling a serious art sex film. Although Milos is hesitant, not least since Vukmir refuses to tell him what the film will be about, the lure of the money which he needs to support his wife and son is far, far too great. He agrees to star in the film, unknowingly setting himself up on a personal journey into increasingly horrific and brutal excess into the darkness recesses of the human soul. Few films have caused as much stir and controversy as this film, and that's saying a lot in a day when it seems like nothing can be shocking anymore, with more and more films trying to outdo the next and just shock and grotesque audiences into submission. And I'm one who has pretty much seen it all and don't get disgusted easily. But this film is one that should not be approached lightly. It is extreme, it will upset most, and most likely it will appall you. And that's why I haven't wanted to talk about this film for so long. The first time I saw this film, I was literally speechless after watching it. And that doesn't happen to me when it comes to movies. I will talk about them all day long. But I couldn't find a thing to really say about this film until now. This is the only film that made me feel dirty having watched it. And as my warning before the video states, there may be spoilers. And I normally try not to spoil it too much, but with this film I will spoil a few things. So if that bothers you, stop the video right now. This film contains scenes of graphic extreme sexual violence, gore including rape, incest, and necrophilia, and the rape of young children and even a young newborn baby. A newborn baby. Do you understand why I say I felt dirty? This is one of those movies that, like I said, I couldn't talk about, but the sadistic side of me loved to share it with others. Hey, watch this. And looking back on the movie now, yes, I still find it appalling, but I understand that the director, in his own way, was making a political satire film. Granted, it's a hell of a way to get that message across, but you have to admit, it was highly effective. I haven't heard of a movie so widely talked about in the horror scene since Cannibal Holocaust. And this film actually makes that kind of look like a Disney film, in my opinion. Although this may be hard to believe in its own way, A Serbian Film is quite funny, albeit in a coffin black humor sort of manner. But it's partly due to the way that the director just constantly heaps on the agony for Milos, making him one of the most unfortunate and put upon protagonists in recent memory. Though it's not to say that it's hard to take the film seriously, its ultra intensity and stream of increasingly awful imagery give it a kind of whacked out Grand Guignol surrealism, which does make for a fair amount of amusement, at least for viewers with a certain moral flexibility. This aside, there are certain parts of the film which do appear to have a sly undercurrent of humor, from the spot-on recreations of Europorn through the dreadful sense of irony and inevitability hanging over the proceedings and its evil final scenes. Ultimately, it's very hard to know whether or not to recommend A Serbian Film, simply because it's the most offensive and potentially damaging film of recent years, and is likely to anger and utterly appall a pretty high percentage of those who watch it. Deserving of praise for its genuine attempts to marry extreme content with a worthy socio-political message, it's a far better film than most predict, and it's all the more monstrous for the fact that the director clearly knows what he was doing. Certainly viewers should approach with caution, as there really are things on show here that are unforgettable in the worst possible way. That being said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next installment, and as always, till next time, kiddies.